Here are my Week 2 power rankings. Overall, there is still a lot to discover about the league. I felt like offenses were on point and defenses were not in shape for the fourth quarter in a lot of these close games. 1. Philadelphia Eagles last week won. They are the champs, and they are still undefeated despite Jalen Carter getting ejected. 2. Buffalo Bills last week 4. The AFC is going to run through Buffalo, but some weeks it's better to be lucky than good. 3. Baltimore Ravens last week 3. The Ravens looked invincible until the Henry fumble. The good news about early season losers of these kinds of games is they usually win the rematch. 4. Kansas City Chiefs last week 2. Their offense looked more dynamic in this loss than it has been in a few years. The right tackle needs to get his act together. 5. Green Bay Packers last week 6. They dominated the Lions. They were contenders before the Parsons trade. Now what are they? 6. Los Angeles Rams last week 9. An all-around balanced team. 7. Houston Texans last week 7. They are still working out things with that O-line. 8. Washington Commanders last week 8. They were the better team this week. 9. San Francisco 49ers last week 10. They won, but they lost George Kittle. 10. Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week 14. Solid win for the Bucs. 11. Detroit Lions last week 5. Waiting to see what this loss means. They have the talent, but can they put it all together? 12. Los Angeles Chargers last week 11. Solid win for the Chargers. Not ready to crown them. They're still the Chargers. 13. Pittsburgh Steelers last week 16. Aaron Rodgers' debut was a success. I sure hope they get this guy a running game. 14. Minnesota Vikings last week 15. JJJ. McCarthy put things together in the fourth quarter for the win. 15. Cincinnati Bengals last week 21. Their defense looked pretty vulnerable against the Browns and Joe Flacco. Not a good sign. 16. Dallas Cowboys last week 19. Not ready to make too many judgments after week 1. 17. Las Vegas Raiders last week 22. The Raiders may be on their way to being a functional team. 18. New England Patriots last week 13. Vrabel has some building to do. 19. New York Jets last week 12. Waiting to see what happens with Justin Fields. I want to see if the light bulb is turning on. 20. Cleveland Browns last week 17. If they can get some decent quarterback play, they are going to surprise people. 21. Chicago Bears last week 18. Caleb Williams looked better, but let's not make too many judgments after week 1. 22. Jacksonville Jaguars last week 20. Jacksonville still has a lot of questions after beating the Panthers. 23. Denver Broncos last week 26. Bo Nix did not look good. His defense really came to the rescue. 24. Seattle Seahawks, same as last week. They still need some pieces, especially along the O-line, to challenge the Niners and the Rams. 25. Atlanta Falcons, same as last week. Need more data to know what to make of these guys. 26. Indianapolis Colts, last week 28. Need more data to know what to make of these guys. 27. Arizona Cardinals, last week 30. Arizona dominated New Orleans as they should have. 28. New York Giants, last week 23. They are going to stay at the bottom of the rankings until Jackson Dart gets his start. Russell Wilson looks finished. 29. Tennessee Titans, last week 29. Cam Ward has some promise. He needs some help from his receivers. 30. New Orleans Saints, last week 31. It could be a long season in the Big Easy. 31. Miami Dolphins, last week 27. It's definitely time to trade Tyreek Hill. 32. Carolina Panthers, same as last week. Bryce Young needs to put together for more than a few games before I can become a believer.